Three, two, one. All right. Good morning. We'll do this really quickly. Um, I'm looking at the just an overall view of how objections are handled. Why everybody's always looking for training on objections and objections. I'm just thinking the process through here. So bear with me as we do this. A reason or an argument that's offered in disagreement. A reason for opposition, an argument for refusal, or just overall disapproval. That's basic working definition. Does this sound like a conversation that somebody's having with you that's, having a good time? That's participating in the conversation together? It seems like it is a battle at that point. And I think that's why salespeople get the definitions put on them and all the descriptions that are always negative, negative, negative. And this is one video, it's not going to solve everything for you. However, I find it in my description, I tried to put this in there. How is it that somebody starts off, I'll use what we do. They realize that they are in need of life insurance. They've got to have something. And at that point, they see something on a Facebook ad, which we put out there, and they click on it and they go through the process of becoming a lead. And they answer the phone when I call. And this perceived idea that they have then is I'm supposed to, water it, nurture it, and do all this stuff. And at the end, with new information now, and including pricing and all that stuff, they now decide they're not interested in one format or another. How does that even occur? It occurs because I'm going into sales mode. It occurs because I'm not looking at collaboration. I'm not looking at their needs, their wants, their desires, what they can do, and all the rest of these things. Oh, so Tony, you're saying you can close 100%? I'm saying I do. Of the people I do a presentation for, they go to numbers, and when I get numbers, they always get a policy. Yes. Why? Because I'm looking to disqualify them all along. I'm looking to disqualify them. I'm going to put up the reason for why we should not do business. And I'll just do this briefly here. In the scope, again, my world, telesales, you're talking over the phone, and in insurance as a whole. We have these generalities that we put out there as far as objections. Like they're going to shop around. They're going to think about it. Money is always going to come up one way or another. Well, I'm on a fixed income, and therefore, that's their validation for doing that. Don't know who you are. I don't want to give my personal information out. All these things on and on. Okay, so here's a simple one. In a debate, in an argument, if we're going to look at them and us and them versus us, and before we get to collaboration, but the person that brings up the objection first controls it. So somebody answers the phone, hey, you do your intro, and they're like, yeah, John, I don't have a lot of time, or this isn't a good time. If your response isn't instantly, yeah, John, it's not a good time for me either. I just happen to catch you between appointments. We need to get this taken care of because I've been trying to get in touch with you for a week. And you go right back into what you were saying. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, well, that's just being rude. Okay. That's your opinion. I will keep people on the phone and get them to the end and get an application while you're chasing them down for another 3 months. And then they're going to say, yeah, I already got it taken care of. That's why that happens. We're going to get to the end with this with leads as well. So if they're going to talk about shopping at some point, why not bring it up? You bring it up and use it to your advantage first of right out of the gate. My thing is, as soon as I get through, if you have my script, it's over here, it's in this section right here, right? As soon as you get into it, do we have a better number, blah, blah, get all their information. Okay, just so you know, I'm licensed in all 50 states and I got access to like 30 different carriers. I don't like wasting people's time. So, John, which companies have you already looked into? Meaning, what have you already gotten? Who have you gotten quotes from already? Don't ask them if they're looking around. Of course, they're looking around. I can't be the first person they've ever spoken to. But by taking the lead and being assertive, they're like, oh, okay, well, here he knows I'm looking around. And if they're not, they're going to tell you, well, I've just started, literally. Because my follow-up, the second question is that after that, whether they answer that, 2 or 3, I've looked at this and this and this. is going to be, so, okay, well, how long have you been looking? How long? Again, time frame, because it's going to give me the ability to ask my third question after they go, well, just a couple months, couple years, well, I've been looking since last November. Wow. That's a long time to spend on the phone with guys like me all the time. That can't be fun. What do you feel has been the biggest obstacle to you getting coverage? Those three questions are just normal, natural, conversational questions. And it's going to uncover, as long as you label and mirror, it's going to uncover a ton of stuff by them just talking, because you're not drilling. You're not going, let me check off my box. Let me follow my script. Let me do all this stuff. It's all part of my script, yes, but it's dynamic. You're moving around. Some people are going to say they've been looking for 2 years. Some people are going to say for 2 days. And I can say, well, that's my goal always. I always tell my clients I want to be the last person you talk to, one way or another, because whether you do business with me or not, you're going to understand that. And then I explain how every single carrier looks at the exact same information, and it doesn't matter how many of me that you talk to. Mutual of Omaha is going to be the same price. You can't shop pricing. Your health determines what you qualify for. That's it. And your health is determined by your MIB and your prescription history and all that stuff. That doesn't change. So you can talk to 100 of me and they're all going to give you the exact same. I want them done. When they're done with me, they need to be done. So we go through it and just, again, it's a conversation. Can that be scripted? I suppose, but it's better just to be part of a conversation. That's just a real quick way just to get in and start digging deep. You're going to talk about later about thinking. I have a specific line in our script that says, hey, we're not going to get an approval today, even though I know I can. I tell them that so I can call them back the next day and they get used to taking my phone calls. We're not going to get approved today. So it's definitely not something you're paying for today. We have nothing to think about. Here's how the process works. I've just taken that away. There's nothing. We're not thinking about anything and everything else. All we're going to do is get an approval based on an amount you can afford, that you can afford. I don't want you getting out the checkbook, register, and going through your budget and everything else. We're going to get the number you can afford. When we have an approval, you can always add more later. Gone. We're not going to sit here and process this kind of stuff and go over and over. If they have questions, this is the time to do it, because we haven't even talked about money. They don't have pricing. They don't have any of those things. You can still have a legitimate conversation. Same thing with verification and everything else. I don't get people asking me, hey, I don't know if you're a scam. I tell them right after that part, here's what's going to happen. Here's how the process, and okay, here's what's expected of me. Got to have honest answers from you. And then I have to, on behalf of the insurance company, however you want to phrase all this stuff. I got it from my script, but you can do it. We have to verify you. I have to be sure nobody's committing insurance fraud in your name. We can only validate that through your identification purposes, your driver's license, your social security number. Those allow us to know that I'm talking to the right Mary Smith, period. Then I move on to the next, and then we're going to do the same thing to protect your financial information. Your bank will be verified to make sure it's legal, to make sure that it's above ground, if it's not there's no funny business going on with it and everything else. I'm telling them they got to go. This is a whole qualifying, which is insurance. There's a whole qualifying process. You're not going to qualify me. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't need you telling me, because you filled out a form on Facebook, what I'm going to do with my business. You can't operate that way. Well, not effectively anyway. So I'm turning the tables to the entire process. This is what we're going to do. This is how we do it. This is how the industry does it. Your choice is the dollars and cents. That's it. Everything else is going to be based on me as the professional, looking at you, answering the questions to the health, and then pairing you up with the best company. And then we just hope for the best and move on from there. Now, why do I talk like this to clients? Because I don't have 30 leads a week in telesales. That should be almost daily. The reason you call and you're like, okay, I'll set an appointment for later, and you call back, and then you do this, and then you do this, and that. I don't have time for that. I got more people to talk to. So my Sundays are my day, even though the leads are on. I had, I think, 11 or 12 leads come in on Sunday, which means as soon as I'm done 9 a.m. and something done here, I can start calling at 8:30 in the morning, or I start dialing through them. I've got plenty of people to talk to, and then I've got the people, and then you just work your way back. Newest leads, second newest, third newest, and go from there. It's very, very, very simple. And if somebody wants to give me a hard time, I don't have time for that. My job is not to talk you into insurance. Those are chargebacks. My job is to take people that have a need, but they don't understand what they have. And to fuel that, to raise the stakes, to get it attached to a pain point of saying, you don't have any coverage, your daughter's on the line, you're saying you got to pay her bills already. What's she going to do with another $10,000 debt? Without using those words, but that's the concept. Now we're collaborating. They are saying, I've got a massive problem. Tony has the fix, and I want him to fix it. Not, I just want a policy. You can get a policy from anybody. I want Tony to fix it. And we're collaborating. There's no excuse. There's no reasonings. There's no objections. I will send you recording after recording after recording. This is my close. Of those, I give them 3 prices. Of those 3, which check do you want little Johnny to have? The 10,000, the 12,000, or the 15? Probably the 12. Are you sure? Because you said probably. I want to make sure it fits comfortably. We can always add more. I'd rather do 10 and get later. No. I can do the 9708. Perfect. Well, you already know how this works, John. I need your driver's license. Just like that. And they give it to me. Okay. And your social. Give it to me right after there. Then I start filling out the application, going through the actual numbers later on. All right. What's the name of your bank? I look up the routing numbers. Do these match? Yep. All right. I need the account number from you. Zero pushback whatsoever, because we are collaborating on a consistent basis. If you're not doing that, it's because you are afraid of pushing this person away from you, number one, which is 100% wrong because you're not being a professional, and or you think being nice equals sales. And I'm not telling you to be rude. I'm saying being nice does not equal sales in any capacity, under any situation, ever. Again, I'm not telling you to be rude. That's a whole other training for another time, I guess. So hopefully this helps some of you just with going through your mind, changing up your mindset a little bit. We get into a little deeper training from time to time, but I just wanted to share that this morning based on a couple things I need to stay off Facebook. There's just people. Have a great day, y'all.